Rest these bones when the sun sleeps, work's never done.
I liked it in D, because I think C sharp's just a little...
Oh, screw that key.
No, we're doing it in C sharp.
Oh, no.
Work these bones when the sun sleeps, work's never done.
I put some lips on just...
Rest these bones when the sun sleeps, work's never done. More we grow, the less we keep when the season comes. Tired body, quiet that The All Recipes, our home project, really came out of a conversation that we'd had prior to embarking on this project about wanting to collect stories from women. We wanted to have there be more female perspective and that wasn't necessarily our own. And then this opportunity arose that we could work with Sean Lewis on this play about food, and we just kind of launched into it and said, yeah. We didn't really know what subjects would come out of food. We kind of had some guesses, and the longer we've worked on this project, just these sort of universal themes have come out of it.
It's interesting, some of the songs that we've started writing earlier, now in talking to people in our talking circles, they end up saying, they're almost saying lines from the songs that we've already written, as well as giving us new ones, and that's very affirming.
And having this medium of theater and music to affirm these themes has been really interesting too. I mean, how often do you see this kind of medium presented to show all this research that we've been doing and that Sean's been doing?
Actually, the first show we ever played, which I don't remember what year that was, we did like a radio play in the middle of it, which was a funny attempt at theater.
which went over really well.
I loved the show.
Yeah.
It was inspiring. I'm not joking. It was fun.
When I wake up, I All the money I've spent with nothing to show. All the years in debt when all I need is you. I know stuff I had to get, but I don't know what for. It's not gonna rule my life anymore. I almost feel like it's kind of like a journal entry when I write a song. When I'm thinking about things that are going on in my mind or in my life, or emotions or feelings that I've been having, you know, I think about them a lot, and sometimes it's just nice to be able to express them in a song. And so a lot of times that's the way I end up writing. The way we write in the Awful Purdies is usually one of us brings a thorough idea of a song to the group, and then together we make it into a song. We work on the structure. We work on maybe adding another part, or just kind of filling in some parts. Being with the Awful Purdies is very different. It's a very different band type setting than I'd ever been in before. It's more of a group of friends getting together and spending quality time with each other. Sometimes we swim or have dinner, or we just sit around and chat. I see the Awful Purdies in the future as always being a group of women that get together, no matter where we live, how far apart we are, how long it's been since we've seen each other. I just feel really confident that we'll always have each other, so.
Billy was born a child of the corn on a century farm. It was clear that his life from sun up to moonrise would be spent working out in the field and the barn. Being third generation, he missed graduation and most of his childhood before. So came the surprise in his father's eyes when one day he walked straight out the door. He was leaving the toil of the springtime, the thickness of summer, the long heavy harvest, the deep winter silence, and starting all over again. The more attached you are. That song actually came out of this project that we're doing. It's a story I feel like I've been hearing from people because I've been meeting lots of people who are interested in participating in growing food who don't have access to land. Also, you hear the recurrent story of farmers whose children don't want to farm and leave. And so I had this image in my head of someone leaving the farm who didn't want to be there, kind of driving on a road, and then actually passing them on the road are people who actually want to be there. I've played it for a few people, including some of these young farmers, and they've helped me switch the words a little bit to make it even more true. One of the things I like about the band is we're all songwriters, and we all write really different kinds of songs. And I think often my songs tend to be a little bit moralistic, or they all have a kernel of a lesson in it about how we should treat each other, or how we should treat ourselves. This project we're working on now is so fun because the inspiration's being given to us, that we have a general theme to write around, and then getting to talk to lots of different people about food and food production is a good inspiration, I think.
Why would I be small? Wear them hurtin' little shoes. I couldn't chase no dog. I couldn't run after you. I'd sit in the palm of your hand and whisper up in your ear. I'd drink my weight in air, getting drunk off one beer. It's called Why Would I Be Small? And I think it really, like for me, it's ultimately about that thing that happens. I think this whole idea that we're supposed to be these skinny little frail beings as women is to diminish us and disempower us. And it's just kind of this idea like, I'm not going to put on a pair of high heel shoes. I'm not going to pretend like I can't hold my drinks. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm this like little frail thing just to fit some standard or ideal. I've always been kind of loud and self-assured, and I'm cool with that. People ask all the time what kind of band we are, and when I have to characterize the genre that we are, I think the easiest and probably the most appropriate answer is that we're a folk band. And to me, folk music really just means from the people, and we're really trying to have an authentic, sincere telling of stories and experiences. I don't know that we're like interested in like this is a universal message, but we're interested in saying this is one perspective. Each song maybe offers a perspective or two. So I think we're folk musicians. I've been a part of Awful Purdies since the very beginning, though the band itself was not my idea. Amy Finders and Annie Savage, who were original members of the band, had been bandmates and friends and been through a lot of things together. And one of the things they observed as female musicians is that one of the only times that they played with other female musicians was when they had played with each other. And they wondered aloud to each other, what would it be like? How would it be different to be in a project with all women? And I thought that idea was really compelling too, because I had been in one other project with one other woman, and at that point I'd been playing in bands for like 14 years, and I just thought maybe it won't be different. I kind of imagine it will be, and we discovered really quickly that we really needed each other. Annie called it a secret coven. She refused to call it a band. She's like, this is a secret coven. We're working for social change. And we all kind of like laugh about that, but it's really kind of true. It's more than a band. Sometimes when we get together, the necessity of being together and just talking and catching up with each other outweighs the need to play music at that moment. We've seen each other through divorce, marriage, new babies, parents dying. I don't think any of us can quite imagine our lives without this sisterhood and this place where we get to go to as creative people. That's become necessary.
Missing all the same old news, not missing anything. There's nothing to lose if you're out of love. Were you ever in it? I packed my bags, but there's nothing in them to say. It's a mistake. It's strange. Don't know what you've got until it's a lot of boys, kissed a lot of girls, kissed a lot of girls. All these festive spoils without hands to hold, left for the song, but they never came home. And they say, love, it's a misnomer. Love, strange. Love, don't know what you got until there's love. No one should be around to you. After time, just to look into there. No one should be around to you. After time, just to look into there. I realize. But thinking about that, you were different because I thought that you were mine. They say
At home I'm Mexicana, at school I'm American. We used to live in Sabinas on the south side of the borderland. My mother, she is a painter. Her landscapes are vivid and bold. Her dark eyes reflect the memories, recuerdos de México. Y mientras caminamos por las tierras del norte, nuestros corazones apuntan al sur. In the north we may stand, still our hearts are directed south of the borderland.
Well, when I first moved to Iowa about 8 years ago, somebody gifted me a banjo, and I was playing it quite a bit and feeling inspired. And I heard about the Awful Purdies. I went and saw them at a concert in the Green Room. I think it might have been their first gig. And it was a really fun concert. And I remember looking at them and feeling the sisterhood that was going on. And I called one of my friends, Michelle, back in Montana and said, when I move back, I want to start a band. And there's this name, we're going to steal it. It's called the Awful Purdies. It's the best name. We gotta take that name. And I was partially kidding, but I thought they had a great name. And then it just kind of happened organically. It's like I met Marcy at this party at Katie Roche's house. And we played some music together. Marcy invited me to practice. I think I'd been to practice for over a month before I realized that I was in the band. And they thought that was pretty funny because they had already decided I was in, but I didn't know it. I usually bumble over my words trying to explain what sound we have, and I end up listing the instrumentation, and I think you have to come come hear us and experience us and be around us to really get it.
I started in music when I was 6 years old. I started playing the cello, and luckily I lived across the street from a member of the Cleveland Chamber Orchestra, and then played all through school, and decided when I was a junior in high school that music was where I wanted to be. So I went to college for that and started teaching, and then I met the Awful Purdies, and actually I met Sarah first, recording on some of her albums. And then further got into the Awful Purdies, and here I am now. I listen to a lot of electronica, and so lately I've been thinking more along the lines of playing hooks. Like for instance, Sarah's song, Don't Know You Anymore. I almost felt like when we were arranging it that we were arranging more of like a electronic song or a hip-hop song where there's different parts that come in at different times, and it's very well choreographed. Everything's very simple, but it flows really nicely and builds together. You know, I guess I say we're acoustic, we're instrumental, and I more or less describe, you know, we have a banjo, we have a glockenspiel, we have a mandolin, we have guitars, we have bass, we have cello. So many different things put together, and we're 5 women who sing.
You're true to yourself, don't care about anything else. So fun to be around, till I was the one that got shot down. All the nights you stayed, everyone got afraid that I don't know you anymore. You hurt me, it's true. Now I don't worry about what you do, 'cause I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore. But I know of you. I don't know you anymore. But I hope you do. Oh, please. She's humiliated and ashamed. You will never take the blame. All the pain with what you can, you could never be a man. Moved all my stuff around, your ideas were so profound, but I don't know you anymore.
miss you. I practice archaeology, excavating another old recipe from the book with the well-worn pages. I can't believe I haven't seen you in ages.